Imagine waking up after a life-threatening event and seeing a bright light surround you. After what seems like forever, you regain consciousness and find yourself in a hospital bed staring at the doctors above you. Did you die, or is that just a response of the brain from trauma? There is a great deal of skepticism about near-death experiences. While there are many written accounts available in medical and scientific journals which describe near-death experiences, the phenomenon still raises questions. Some think that they're merely dreams, while others believe that they're actual windows showing them of what is to come in the afterlife. In this speech, I will try to provide positive evidence to suggest that they are indeed real, through facts, polls, scientific studies, and personal stories from near-death experiences. To begin, I would like to define a near-death experience. It's a time when the body starts to shut down, the lungs stop breathing, the heart stops beating, and the blood ceases to reach the brain and other parts of the body. It's when your physical body is practically dead. This can occur from numerous things. According to Morrissey from Journey into Consciousness, it can occur during surgery, cardiac arrest, anaphylactic shock, coma, fever, anesthesia, seizures, unconsciousness, severe allergic reactions, suicide attempts, or other physical trauma caused to the body. During this time of death, many people claim to be passing through a tunnel toward a bright light and meeting people who have died earlier in the time. Upon awakening from the near-death experience, the subject may return with unusual abilities previously unknown to them. Some people find themselves seeing auras, God, angels, or demons, and other related paranormal abilities or activities, awareness of science and other technologies regarding time and space, and transformations in spirit and personality. Polls and scientific studies offer some support concerning the reality of near-death experiences. In one poll conducted, 15 million near-death experiences were reported in North America in 1996 alone, according to the U.S. News and World Report. After conducting many studies, scientists have concluded that near-death experiences happen in 5 sequential stages. Stage 1 is feeling blissful sensations throughout the entire body. Stage 2, the spirit leaving the physical body itself. Stage 3, the spirit entering a dark tunnel. Stage 4, the spirit perceiving a bright light. And stage 5 is the spirit entering the bright light. These are just 2 of the numerous results from polls and studies conducted by scientists to prove the realness of near-death experiences. Accounts of near-death experiences are remarkably consistent in character and content. They include intensely vivid memories involving bodily sensations that give a strong impression of being real, more real than even the memories of true events. The content of those experiences famously includes memories of one's life flashing before their eyes, and also the sensation of leaving the body, often seeing one's own face and body blissfully traveling through a tunnel toward a bright light and feeling at one with something universal. Not surprisingly, many have seized on near-death experiences as evidence of life after death, heaven, and the existence of God. The descriptions of leaving the body and blissful unity with the universe seem almost scripted from religious beliefs. But these experiences are shared across a broad range of cultures and religions, so it's not likely that these are just reflections of specific religions or expectations. Instead, that's the commonality suggests that near-death experiences might arise from something more fundamental that other religions can't prove. Perhaps near-death experiences reflect changes in how the brain functions as we approach death. Researchers drew on a large collection of near-death experience stories that they have collected over many years ago. To compare near-death experiences with drug-related experiences, the researchers took advantage of a large collection of drug experience anecdotes found in the Arrowwood Experience Vaults, an open-source collection of accounts describing first-hand experiences with drugs and various substances. In this study, the recollections of those who experienced near-death experiences and those who took drugs were compared linguistically. Their stories were broken down into individual words, and the words were sorted according to their meaning and counted. In this way, researchers were able to compare the number of times words having the same meaning were used in each story. They used this numerical analysis of story content to compare the content of drug-related and near-death experience. Near-death experiences occur regardless of people's age, proving that this can happen to anyone. Dr. Atwater states that near-death experiences occur in people of all ages. They occur as young as newborn to elderly. The experience remains vivid throughout their entire life. Laura had an experience at age 3 and said, "As I died, I felt myself raised up by angels in robes of many colors. I did not know where they were taking me as they flew, carrying me up higher and higher into the sky. Finally, we reached a place where emptiness gave way to form, and form took the shape of a huge cloud-like mass on which other angels seemed to be walking, although they floated through the air." Cecile, age 11, also had a near-death experience and said, "A long way off there was a pinprick of light. I moved toward it, slowly at first, and then faster and faster as if I were on top of a train accelerating. Then I stopped and stepped fully into the light. I noticed everything. The sky, the buildings, glass emitted its own light, and everything was much more colorful than we had seen here. A river meandered around. On the other side was a city, and a road running to another city, and another city, and another city." Dr. Raymond Moody states that children's near-death experiences are very similar to an adult experience. The adults are able to verbalize in more detail, however, the main core of the near-death experiences remains the same. Martha Ann, age 23, also talked about her near-death experience and stated, "As she struggled to hold her breath, she felt her spirit rise out of her body, and she could see her body just under the surface of the water, being dragged at high speed. She saw her 2 friends in the boat talking to each other, oblivious what was happening to her. She saw her 4-year-old son playing in the shore with her friends. Martha's spirit traveled to a dark tunnel where she could hear loud clicking sounds. She traveled fast toward the light at another end, excited, feeling like she was going someplace she had once been. She came out where there was flowers everywhere, brightly colored and gorgeous. Then she found herself in the universe surrounded by brilliant stars and planets all around her and into infinity." Near-death experiences can happen to anybody, children, adults, or the elderly. Also, near-death experiences happen regardless of what faith you're in. So you could be a Christian, a Muslim, a Hindu, doesn't matter, they happen to everybody. Not one religion is responsible for near-death experiences, but as spirituality as a whole. So today, near-death experiences exist, and they existed back in the biblical times, ever since man was created. The only skepticism that is still occurring is due to the lack of concrete evidence to prove that consciousness occurs outside of the body, when a body is declared dead. There is still so much more research that needs to be done on near-death experiences, but in the meantime, we can marvel at the unknown mysteries of the universe.